All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next lesson of the Digital Technology Merit Badge. This should be a relatively short lesson today to wrap things up. So we'll just jump right into it. So picking up where we left, picking up a new topic, we'll start with malware and what that is. So really, it's just a harmful file, or usually more accurately, it's a harmful program, something that runs on your computer that you don't want it to. And so different flavors of this. Viruses are designed to harm your computer in some way or harm you. They can do all kinds of things, destroy files. They can cause your computer to malfunction by messing with, its operating system, making it crash. And then they can collect data, which is the most dangerous part, because you can replace a computer, but it's a lot harder to replace, say, personal information that's been taken, and it can cause a lot more damage that way. So a few flavors of these viruses. Worms are programs that will hijack your computer's connectivity to the internet to spread itself. So kind of a, not really a worm, but an example of this would be like those chain emails where it says forward this to 10 people. I don't know if those still even pop around or not, but a lot of times viruses will be put in those emails, and so you spread it to 10 people, and then those 10 people send it to 10, and suddenly you're at 100 people for that virus. So worms kind of act like that, where they'll get in your computer. If your computer is attached to, like, say, a work network, it can get into your work's network and get company files, that kind of thing. Trojan horses. So just like the myth, they appear harmless, but then do something dangerous once they're on your computer. It might be like a program you download. It's like, hey, download this free PC cleaner. Then you download this PC cleaner and it pretends to clean up your computer while instead installing a bunch of viruses. And then there's spyware, which is software to track you. And it can also install programs without you knowing, which is very dangerous because it can be like such a simple file that then allows hackers a door to your computer. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those things where people's phones get locked down and it says pay me money and we'll unlock your phone. So it's kind of similar to that. All right. So internet security, one of the big things on websites is in the website URL, HTTPS. It's one way to protect yourself online. It stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, which, easy to understand, definitely makes sense to all of us. No, it's a bunch of big, the words are very specific in their meaning, but their importance is not super relevant to this merit badge. So what does it mean, which is important to this merit badge? It means the website encrypts your information. A little bit about encryption. If we look at the pictures over here on the right side, we got my laser pointer. So if we draw a line here, we have a encrypted message down here, and then this would be the cipher or the decoder. And so what encryption does is it allows you to send messages across the network, and if it's intercepted, then, unless you have the cipher or you know how to decode it, it's useless to you. And so this is a very simple example. Computer encryptions use it's like 120 digit numbers and algorithms, and it's very difficult to crack if done right. This is just a pigeon cipher where if you see down here, it's a V. So then we go up here to the V shape, and so it would be an S, and this is like, the U, so it'd be, H, and the square, means the letter within the square, E, and this word is Sherlock. But so if the website, you were to put in your username and password with using these letters, the website would encrypt it to this, and then that's how it would send it from your computer to the database to log you in. And if it gets intercepted, you know, this isn't letters. It's hard for someone intercepting it to understand what it means. And so websites that, if you look in the URL that say HTTPS, they'll do this with your information. And you want to make sure any website that you log in with the username and password has HTTPS in their URL, because then your username and password are going to be secure, more secure. A little bit about the internet and how devices connect to it. So the internet is, in its simplest form, when two or more computers are linked together. So it's like way back, not way back in the day, I'm not that old, but old Game Boys, before they were wireless, when you'd have to connect the cable together to trade your Pokemon, that would be a network, more or less. The internet is a bunch of networks, like a bunch of networks. And it's Google would be like, you know, a network connecting more networks. It's like the library. If every book is a network and then every page is a computer, it's huge, the network of networks. And then your ISP, or internet service provider, provides you a connection from your computer to the internet. And they just give you basically the physical cable from your house to their servers, which connect to all the other networks. It's when you play online video games, there's a house somewhere full of nothing but giant computers running the online games. And your internet service provider connects your console or computer to the internet service provider, which they then connect you to those servers to let you play the games. Now, if you're a really big company, such as Netflix, there's no, their servers are directly in your internet service provider's buildings, so you can get faster connections. And Netflix has just like essentially hard drives of all their movies and shows connected right into your internet service provider. So they don't have to route your traffic through a network. It's just from your house to the ISP. All right. So now we're going to get into digital technology waste. And you always hear the joke in computer years, kind of like in dog years, where computers get obsoleted pretty quickly. So to prevent all this digital e-waste, you should recycle your computers. And why you should do that is environmental impact of just not throwing stuff away, goes into landfills. But there can also be hazardous materials in the computers, such as old LCD screens contain mercury, old solder contains lead. So those are very poisonous if they end up in any food stream or water supply or nature in general. And then the other thing is computers are made with a lot of rare metals, like your CPU, which does a lot of the thinking for your computers, has a lot of gold in it. You don't want to just throw that away. That's why, you know, when you go to get a new phone, a lot of times they'll just repurpose the phone to sell it, resell it again. But if the phone doesn't work but they'll still give you like $15 for a completely broken phone, they're gonna take it and they're gonna scrape all the rare metals out of it, even though it's no longer functional. So then this it says documentary. It's like 5 minutes long. So I won't play that here. You can pause the lesson, the links in PowerPoint that you have. The link's also in the description below, but it shows them using acid to pull gold and other metals from a computer, and explains it much better than I could. And this is another one that I found extremely interesting, where they use batteries to make fertilizer for corn. So these two videos, how computers are recycled, how batteries are recycled, cover a few of the requirements. And they explain it much better, and I think probably more entertaining than I could ever. So now we'll get into the final part of this badge that we uncovered, which is intellectual property, which is not, when you think of property, you think of like, your house and stuff you can own and touch. Intellectual property is stuff that you can own, but it's a thought or an idea or a concept. It's harder to grab. So the first protection of intellectual property is called a copyright. So it protects the expression of an idea, which, what does that mean? Well, if we look at the next point, books, magazines, articles, movies, songs. You can't copyright, the concept of music, but if you write your own song, that can be yours to copyright. So it gives the owner the right to make copies, sell, and advertise their version of music. And so they can make a song, copyright it, and they can distribute. They're the only person allowed to sell you the CDs or sell it on iTunes or sell it to Spotify. So the next intellectual property protection is called a patent. And we'll look over here on the right is the patent for toilet paper. So what a patent does is it grants exclusive rights to an invention for a certain period of time. So what that means is you come up with a great idea. The first one to patent it gets all the rights to it. And that recently changed 10 years ago. It used to be if you had the idea, then you were the one who patented it. Now it's, the first person to file the patent gets it. So if someone has a good idea and they tell you, then you can go patent it. And now you have all the rights to the patent, which means no one else can manufacture it. I mean, you can have the patent and do nothing with it, just to, hold the patent to prevent people from doing it. But usually if you get a patent, it's a good idea worth selling, or it has some marketability. Now, the thing with patents is they'll eventually run out. And the reason that patents can't be limitless is there would be no innovation. Think about it if the patent for a car had never run out. There wouldn't be a competition. The first person to invent a car would be the only person allowed to make a car. And so when the patent runs out, it really allows, you see all these knockoff companies making the product. It just allows people to continue innovating on the product once they're allowed the rights, or once it's no longer protected by the government to, only be made by one person. And then trade secrets. So trade secrets are information that provides an advantage to a business. So this is like Burger King's secret Burger King sauce or something like that. To be classified as a trade secret and protected under trade secret laws, rules, and regulations stuff, it has to be valuable information. So a recipe would be valuable information if you're a restaurant. It's not well-known information. So that would mean, we tell our cooks how to make it, but that's it. We don't tell the public how to make it. And then you have to try to protect it in some way, which is obviously Burger King not posting it on the internet for everybody to see. I know there's, You can Google it and find limitations of it, but the company hasn't put anything out there, so they're doing their best to protect it. So that would qualify as a trade secret. And our final one is a trademark. So it's a word, name, logo, or symbol, and it's used to identify a product or business. So if we look over here at all these, you see the R, you see, TM trademarked, all these. The R means restricted, meaning no one else has access to this, more or less. But what this means is, if you were to take away the word McDonald's here, and you just saw the golden arches, you'd still know it's McDonald's. So it's a logo or symbol, and it identifies McDonald's as McDonald's. That's a trademark, and they have protection so that no one else can use, the golden M to identify their business, because that would then interfere with the image of McDonald's. They want their brand to be identified by this image, so they put a trademark on that logo. So that's just a quick overview of intellectual property, malware, computers, networks, and that'll be the final topics we need to cover for the merit badge. So that concludes all the lessons for the digital technology merit badge. Thanks for watching.